ask if Vivaldi is right for you.
QFC sabe que los productos frescos hacen mejores comidas. Por eso reducimos el tiempo de la cosecha.
5 started, or 6 started, 5 have finished. Here comes Jamie.
Here's how you go from this to that with Adobe Express. You're going to start by uploading the media. You're going to select your video, duplicate it, and then align. Make sure your top layer is selected. Remove that background. Then you'll go ahead and add your text, customize it to your style. Once satisfied, you'll drag the text layer into the center. Last but not least, you'll add some animation and you're all set.
Two, one, mark. 5 minutes to the start of our Heat 1A, our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes. The fastest race boats in the world can now come out on the race course. The first boat away from the pit area is the U91, the Goodman Real Estate. So that was the 5-minute mark, and it is time to go racing. Let's run down the boats that will be in our Heat 1A. The U1, it is predominantly blue and white. It is the Miss Home Street. It is driven by Dylan Runney. He is a rookie, but he is a good one. He's going to be joined by the bright red Beacon Electric U8, driven by J. Michael Kelly. J. Michael Kelly's teammate, Corey Peabody, drives the U9. It's predominantly white. It is the Beacon Plumbing. And rounding out our 4-boat field in our Heat 1A is the white trimmed in black and gold Goodman Real Estate. It's U91. It is driven by Andrew Tate. Our boats can cut the race course. I'm expecting we're going to see some of that happen here very quickly. But before we get to that, as J. Michael Kelly is going to cut across the race course, the start of our Heat 1A is just a few minutes away, and Seafair reminds you that for your own safety and the safety of those around you, everyone must be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones race course. So it is time to get out of the water and enjoy the fastest race boats in the world. John Walters, I made a comment that I expected a couple of the boats to cut the race course. They all did.
Yeah, the race started the minute they pushed the button to leave the dock there, and you can see they're all running fairly close together. The start is huge here. These are only 3-lap preliminary races, so if somebody gets a jump on you, it's tough, as fast as all these boats are, to make up that difference and make up that distance. Now, you're going to see guys that want to have the inside lane. They're going to try to drag guys up there early so that they can maybe get them to jump the gun or make a mistake. You have to maintain a minimum speed of 80 miles per hour. That's kind of a judgment call now, and as Dylan cuts across the infield here to try and pick up that inside lane as everybody else is coming down the front straightaway here. So it's going to be a battle from the very beginning. Just like we said, this is a heavyweight championship, but it's going to be 4 different fighters.
Yeah, this is going to be good. So we're coming up on 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Again, for those of you that have never seen this before, we're not racing yet. That doesn't mean we're not in the middle of a competition right now. Watch J. Michael Kelly. Is he going to make a move? I thought maybe he might jump across to the backstretch, but no, that would have been a legal maneuver, but he did not. He went all the way down to the bottom of the race course as we approach 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 2:20 until the start. Remember, our boats do not have assigned lanes. They are jockeying for position. So wherever somebody is on the course right now, that may be where they want to be. It may not be where they want to be. As John was talking earlier, you've got to have a plan B, C, and sometimes D when you get out on the race course. We will begin our 3-lap preliminary Heat 1A in 1 minute and 50 seconds. John, they're all up at the top end of the race course. Dylan Runney's going to come off first.
Yeah, the way this race course is set up, at the 1 minute gun, you want to be between, about the apex of turn 1 here and the exit pin. It's a short run down that back straightaway, especially as fast as these guys go. So you're going to see everybody try to get down there, and like you mentioned, you're either at where the spot you want to be on the race course or where you would think you want the competition to think you want to be there. So a lot of this is just head games, and a lot of it's playing the game.
And another piece to this puzzle that we talked about earlier, but not yet during this heat, the boats cannot drop below 80 miles per hour. So that really affects how you fight for these positions. You can't just go park in a lane at the top end of the race course. You have to maintain at least 80 miles an hour. That will be determined by the officials when we finish the heat, and the boats come back to the pit area and they look at the data recorder. So now inside 1 minute, they were pretty much where you were talking about, John, and right now it looks as though Dylan Runny in the U1, the Miss Home Street, is going to sit in lane number 1 up the backstretch. That's going to be his teammate Andrew Tate sitting in 2, lane 3. Looks like Corey Peabody, but we're going to watch where J. Michael Kelly might slot. He's coming up behind the boats, and we are inside 35 seconds. John, they're at the top end. We're going to be racing here inside 25 seconds.
Yeah, they're all in pretty good shape. Dylan may be a little bit early, and you saw J. Michael Kelly last week, get up there too early, and he had to make a decision. Do I jump the gun or do I get disqualified? If you jump the gun, at least you get to continue to race. It's about 7 seconds off the exit pin, and here they come.
Inside 10 seconds now. They come down to the start. It is Runny in 1. It is Tate in 2. It's Peabody in 3. On the outside, J. Michael Kelly. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Mark, it looks to be legal from here. We'll call them as they are on the water. And John Walters said that Dylan Runny didn't bring a lot of boat speed down as he was early. He's going to trail the field into turn 1. Our leader on the outside is J. Michael Kelly, but he's already been passed to the left of him on the inside. That is going to be Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing, and inside of him, it is Andrew Tate. It is Tate. It is Peabody up the backstretch. Halfway through, Peabody on the outside. He's up by about 3 boat lengths. But now, John, it's that inside lane position that Andrew's got at the top end.
Yeah, Corey's really in the best position here because he can control, how wide and how early, they get into the turn there. So he's going to try to hold and maintain that radius around there as they start down the straightaway towards the start-finish line at the end of lap 1.
A boat that's showing me an awful lot of speed right now is J. Michael Kelly because he's staying in the mix here, and he's running the biggest race course on the far outside. Our 4th place boat across the line is Dylan Runny in the Home Street now. Down to the lower end of the race course, it is still Corey Peabody. He's running in lane number 2. He's holding Andrew Tate to a nice tight line on the inside. He's driving him legal, John. He's giving him enough room, but he's not giving him any more.
Yeah, he's not giving him any extra, and he knows exactly where he's at. He's got spotters that are telling him he can see the race course himself very well, and he knows as long as he can pinch, Andrew in that first turn there, that he's going to have to come off the throttle to maintain his boat speed so he doesn't slide out into that rooster tail. So he's actually controlling the first turn, even though he's not in the first lane.
I've been making the comment all weekend long that nobody has solved the Corey Peabody puzzle, and once again he's out almost by a rooster tail. J. Michael Kelly on the far outside has got his sight set on Andrew Tate, but that's going to be a tall order as the boats go down to the bottom end of the race course for the 3rd and final time. Our leader off the exit pin, Corey Peabody, got almost a full rooster tail now on Andrew Tate on the inside. Tate, our top qualifier. Our Beacon Plumbing with Corey Peabody was our 3rd fastest qualifier, but John Walters, they've got a good race setup, and he's walking away from our top qualifier up the backstretch.
They've got an excellent race setup. The water was good. Corey did a really good job, and like I mentioned earlier, lane 2 is the place you want to be here. This is a big, wide race course with big turns, and boy, you get on any farther outside than that, it's a long, long ways around these turns. But Corey was in a position to control that first turn and really put him in a position to win.
Checkered flag flies. Corey Peabody in the U9. Beacon Plumbing, 2nd place, is going to go to our top qualifier, Andrew Tate, U91 Goodman Real Estate. Then it's J. Michael Kelly in 3rd, driving the 8. That is the Beacon Electric. And the man who was a little bit early at the start, and you saw how it can cost him, Dylan Runny in the U1, the Miss Home Street. You talked about it, John. You said maybe Dylan was early. He was. He came off the corner. The other guys were behind him, got to put the foot down. They brought the momentum to the line. And unfortunately, as you said prior to the heat, you can't let these guys. And we just had an interesting maneuver because Dustin Eccles cut the race course again a 2nd time. But as he came out of the infield and re-entered the race course on the front straightaway, it was made very clear last night at the drivers' meeting, if you come from that infield, as we're watching Bobby King do right here on the front straightaway, when you do that, you have no right-of-way. The boats behind you, coming up behind you, have the right-of-way. But it worked out well for Dustin Eccles because he was way in front of Jamie Nielsen, and he made sure to give his boat a squirt, so he got away. So there was no interference with a boat that was already on the race course, that being Jamie Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. Up the backstretch with 155 until the start. Dustin Eccles is up there first. He might be a little bit early, John. You were saying he wanted to be down here at the lower end at a minute. Remember, he can't just slow the boat down. He's got to stay above 80 miles per hour.
Got to stay above 80 miles per hour, maintain a planing attitude. And you want to be about the apex to the exit pin when the 1 minute gun goes off. Now, you've already heard and seen some jockeying going on. If you hear that popping and banging out there, that's a compressor stall where the bleed band is locked closed, and it's getting down to a point where the bleed band is closing and the fuel control gets unhappy and the compressor stalls. Dustin's a little bit early there. If he backs off the throttle here, he risks, going under 80 miles an hour and could be penalized a lap or even disqualified. So as we're getting for the countdown for the 1 minute gun right now.
3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. I think Dustin's going to be okay. He went deep into that corner to scruff off a little bit of time. Now he can swing it back into an inside lane. The boats don't determine their final lane until the entrance pin of the upper corner up by the bridge. So they could still see a lane change at this point, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's the way they're going to come to the line. Dustin Eccles in the U40, the flavor pack, is going to sit in lane number 1. Lane number 2 is going to go to Jamie Nielsen. That is in the Legend Yacht Transport. That is the Chartreuse and Royal Blue. Then it is going to be Bobby King in the red trimmed in black Graham Trucking to U12. We'll have Gunnar O'Farrell on the far outside and trailing the field coming to the line. We are inside 20 seconds until the start. Watch the boats fan out on the top end of the race course, and then a run down to turn number 1. And we are inside 10 seconds. Now look at Bobby King. He's got speed bringing it to the line. Is he too early? We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. Boats are across the line. Bobby King appears to have a good start, and it is a legal start. It is legal. Bobby King, the rookie, going to take him down to the lower end of the race course, but he's got Jamie Nielsen with him, and also now Nielsen takes over the lead on the inside. Off the corner and coming up the backstretch, Jamie Nielsen, U11 Legend Yacht Transport, looking strong. Again, another good start for Jamie Nielsen, John, as they go up the top end of the race course, but he's got company in Bobby King.
Yeah, Jamie made a really good start up there. When Dustin got up there a little bit early, he had to slide out wide just a little bit, and Jamie slid inside of him and got the number 1 lane. So, like I say, I think that flavor pack boat's got a little top end on everybody here. Jamie was able to, reel in Bobby there in the 12 as they got down there, and boy, they've got a real good race going here as they go to the first turn at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 down to the bottom end of the race course. It is Jamie Nielsen in lane number 1. Bobby King with a good start and a lot of boat speed is sitting in lane number 2. He is in position number 2. And then keep an eye on Dustin Eccles. You said he had top end on everybody. He might, and he's going to try and use it. And he's got his sight set on Bobby King. The race may be for second place, but I'll tell you what, Jamie Nielsen cannot relax. He's got a right side rear view mirror that is full of the rookie Bobby King. Graham Trucking running very strong up the backstretch. We are in the middle of lap number 2. Still anybody's race up at the top end. Where is Gunnar O'Farrell? There he is. He's halfway up the backstretch. So O'Farrell is still running in 4th place. Jamie Nielsen's going to come down and put 2 in the books. And that is going to be in 1st place. But look at the run for 2nd place. Here comes Dustin Eccles on the outside, the flavor pack. He flies the 40 as he drives around Bobby King on the outside. But King's going to have lane position on the inside. This corner's going to be very interesting for our 2nd place battle. It is the flavor pack, U40 Dustin Eccles. He has now taken over 2nd place. He's holding Bobby King in tight, but our leader with a full 2 rooster tails over those 2 boats remains Jamie Nielsen. Legend Yacht Transport presents the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouses at the top end of the course and looking strong. Don't count out Bobby King. He's still got lane position up here, and Dustin Eccles is going to have to drive a great big race course to go outside the wake of Jamie Nielsen. But coming down to pick up a checkered flag here, at least unofficially in our Heat 1B, Jamie Nielsen, U11 Legend Yacht Transport. 2nd place is going to go to Dustin Eccles in the flavor pack. 3rd place to Bobby King in the Graham Trucking, the U12. And coming off the top end of the race course in the U60, the Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway rookie Gunnar O'Farrell.
I started at Purdue Global because it was really easy to try to balance classes.
He will come by and he will score. That was an interesting start sequence because we're getting some really good examples of coming to the line too early, having to pull your foot out, lose a little boat speed, etc. And we can see how it can cost you. But I was impressed with the rookie, Bobby King. He put that 12 across the line first. Nielsen are saying, don't move, don't, oh, look at this, look at Andrew Tate. He's going to jump over to the backstretch. Now, Andrew does not have a right-of-way here. He's got to be careful, and J. Michael Kelly went right through the rooster tail of Andrew Tate, and I'm telling you right now, the officials are going to take a look at that one. The boat that is on the straightaway has the right-of-way. J. Michael Kelly had the right-of-way there, and it is going to be a question about Andrew Tate. A boat entering the course from the infield does not have the right-of-way. I'm sure the officials are going to take a look at that. We'll call them the way they are on the water. And at the top end of the race course, it is Jamie Nielsen. He is right now in lane number 1. Kelly is in 2. It is Andrew Tate in lane number 3. Watch him come off the top end of the race course. But we're still a minute 30, still a minute 35, John, until our start. So they got to go all the way down and around again.
Yeah, they're going to cruise down here, staying above that 80-mile-per-hour minimum, trying to establish and hold these lanes. Like I say, if they can get down to the first turn here about the apex when the 1-minute gun goes off, they'll be in great shape. You'll see them accelerate and start up the turn. Now, they can still change lanes until they get to the score-up buoy here, which is the entrance pin of the second turn.
Up at the top end of the race course by the floating bridge. So you've called it about 1 minute. They want to be down at the apex of the lower corner. That's where they are right now with 2-1 mark, 1 minute. And it is Jamie Nielsen sitting in lane number 1. He is in the Legend Yacht Transport. Then it is J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. That's the red boat in lane 2. Coming up behind them is the predominantly white boat, the Goodman Real Estate, with Andrew Tate. And it looks like making a charge on the outside is going to be Dustin Eccles in the U40, the Flavor Pack, 37 seconds. John, as they go up the backstretch.
Yeah, they're all in pretty good shape right here. Actually, you know, from J. Michael K back, they're in excellent shape, and you can see they're going to start accelerating, getting after the power here. They're going to have a little bit of a speed advantage by the time they get to Jamie up there, but he's still in control of this field right now.
Jamie Nielsen is in 1. Kelly is in 2. Tate is in 3. Eccles is on the outside. They are at the exit pin of the corner at 11 seconds. So they're going to have to hold back here just a little bit. We are inside 10 seconds. Now they start to come up on the power curve. Going to be a pretty start. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. And we are racing in Heat 2A. The start appeared to be good, but we'll monitor the radio. And it is going to be Andrew Tate and J. Michael Kelly that are going to get down here first. And they are literally side by side. But once again, Jamie Nielsen with the lane position on the outside. They're going to come off the corner 3 wide. The start is under review. We'll keep an ear to the radio. Look at them 3 wide down the backstretch. And now J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric starts to move out a little bit on Jamie Nielsen, but he's bringing Andrew Tate with him. The two of them are tied together as they get to the top end of the race course and enter into turn number 2. Nielsen with the lane position on the inside, but boy, John, we got a barn burner on the outside.
Yeah, we absolutely do, and Jamie's got the inside lane, but he's really having to watch himself as the other 2 boats have got overlap now, and they're starting to put the pinch on him, hoping he'll have to back off the throttle, and then they'll give them a clear advantage to move over to that inside lane.
One lap in the books with 2 more to go. It was J. Michael Kelly by about a boat length and a half, but now Tate has closed that up. He's basically pulled up alongside Mike. The 2 of them are going to come off the lower corner virtually side by side. Looks like one boat, but now we see a little bit of white. We can see Andrew Tate, Goodman Real Estate, Beacon Electric tied together up the backstretch, and watch on the outside. Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack. He's not being lost. He was in 4th place. He has now moved past Jamie Nielsen as they get to the top end of the race course. Dustin Eccles driving a mighty big race course, but our leaders still tied together as they come down to put 2 in the books, John.
Yeah, as they come down this straightaway here, J. Michael Kelly's got the catbird seat. He's, you know, the inside lane, even though he's not in lane number 1, but he's able to, you know, keep Andrew on his hip right there and really control the race course. The boat is accelerating good. They got great boat ride.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Andrew Tate really flew the 91 as he got down to the corner. Kelly's going to come out first. Now he's opened up a little bit of water on Andrew Tate, making about 4 or 5 boat lengths. I'm telling you, Dustin Eccles not going away in 3rd, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to run down Andrew Tate. J. Michael Kelly, you heard John Walters say he is in the catbird seat. He's sitting on an inside lane. He's just got to negotiate this north turn, come through clean, come down, and he will pick up a checkered flag and an apparent 400 big points, and that's going to be huge in the national high point standing. We'll get to that later. Here they come, top of the course, come down to put 3 up and 3 down. Checkered flag flies. It is J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. He will finish first. Andrew Tate will come across in second place. A hard-charging Dustin Eccles will come across in the U40, the Flavor Pack. And Jamie Nielsen, he will come down and finish in fourth place. He had that lane on the inside, but boy, it didn't take long for Kelly and Tate to move out on him. And like you say, then it got tight in there for Jamie, and they were holding him on that inside lane, and it's just tough to do.
It is tough to do, and even Dustin, you know, he appears to have top end on everybody here, but well, this is a big race course, and here if you're on lane 3 or 4 like that, with only 3 laps to accomplish it in, it's difficult to drive by him. And typically, when you've got top end on everybody, you don't have the bottom end, and you don't accelerate as well. And on this big, wide race course, that's really what you want, is the bottom end. You want to be able to get through the turns well, just squirt off that exit.
The race course behind him is Corey Peabody, and just entering the lower turn is the Miss Home Street, Dylan Runny. The boats are spread out on the backstretch right now for a Heat 2B presented by Beacon Plumbing. Looking at the clock, 2 minutes until the start of Heat 2B presented by Beacon Plumbing. Top end of the race course, Bobby King. He surprised me, John, in that last heat because he moved to an inside lane, not the inside lane, but he went ahead and said, I'm going to come in here and mix it up with you guys. And he had a nice start. He had a good run in that first heat.
He did have a nice start, and like I say, he's no stranger to fast boats and having to race hard. So he's going to come down here a little bit early right now. Looks like he's going to cut across maybe, and or at least he's slowing way down, trying to get an inside lane down here and be in that first turn with a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, well, what it looks like to me, if he can hold it off and he can keep his speed above 80 miles an hour and get down here, he's going to have an inside lane. He may have the inside lane. I think he's sitting tight to the buoy row right now. A minute 10, 1:10 until the start, and it is. Bobby King is sitting in lane number 1. Oh, this could be a lot of fun.
This could be a good heat.
We are at 2 seconds, 1 second mark, 1 minute to our Heat 2B presented to Seafair by Beacon Plumbing. And now off the bottom end of the race course, Bobby King in the U12, the Graham Trucking, predominantly black, trimmed in red. He is on an inside lane. Next to him in lane number 2 is the U9, the Beacon Plumbing. That's Corey Peabody. He was a winner in his first heat. Then it is going to be Dylan Runny in the powder blue and white Miss Home Street. He's going to be in lane number 3. Look for Gunnar O'Farrell in the Beast Unleashed to drop back on the outside. He's way on the outside right now. He will drop back. He has to start 5 seconds behind the clock. I like where they are, John Walters. They were 20 seconds at the entrance pin to the corner. Look at King sitting in 1. I like it. Now Dylan Runny, he's out in front of everybody, but he's not going to have a lot of boat speed. We are coming up inside 5 seconds. We are 3 seconds, 2, 1. Mark, it appears to be a very clean start. Corey Peabody's going to break the clock. It is a legal start, and he's going to get down to the corner first, but he's got Bobby King off to his left on the inside lane. Look for Corey to stick the white nose out first, and there he is, Corey Peabody. But he's got a left side rear view mirror full of Bobby King. I'm liking this rookie Bobby King, John.
Yeah, I definitely like Bobby. He comes from a long line of good boat racers. His dad, of course, being one of those. He's going to hang right in there. At this point in time, you know, Corey's got enough overlap. He could take the lane, but I bet that he won't. He'll give him plenty of room down there. He's got boat speed on everybody right now. He made a great start leading these guys around the upper turn.
The boat you don't see is the Home Street, the Miss Home Street. He is on the outside. He is in 3rd position. You couldn't see him up the backstretch. Here comes Corey. 1 up, 1 down, 2 to go. Still got Bobby King on the inside. It's about a rooster tail lead for Corey Peabody. The race is going to be for 2nd place. Can Dylan Runny run down the rookie Bobby King on the inside? He's going to have to do it on a big race course, John.
He is, and there's a long ways around this race course, but you know, Dylan's got the boat in a good lane right there. He's accelerating really hard. The boat comes off the turns, and he appears to have, you know, boat speed on Bobby when he gets to the other end there. But he runs out of straightaway just about the time that he gets in a position to make a move.
I'm telling you right now, Bobby King has closed up on Corey Peabody. He's only back by about 4, maybe 5 boat lengths, and he's got an inside lane. Bobby King is making a run out of this on the inside. King right on the buoy row. They're going to come off together. Peabody on the outside. King has taken the lead off the corner, and they're going to be side by side as they come down and put 2 in the books. Bobby King driving the daylights out of the Graham Trucking on the inside. He has moved away from Dylan Runny, who's dropped back in 3rd position. 3rd and final lap, lower end of the race course. How do we do down here? Corey Peabody found some extra speed. He's opened up about 4 boat lengths. I'll tell you what, I don't know if King surprised Corey or not, but he made a run on that last straightaway.
It's hard to say exactly if maybe he snuck up on him there, but Corey's opened up a little bit of ground here. He's given Bobby enough room inside there. He's given him a lane at about a foot, so he's got to get in there and tighten up that radius.
Now we're back to keeping an eye on Dylan Runny in 3rd. I don't know if he can run down Bobby King. He's way on the outside, got a big race course to do it. But meanwhile, here comes the leader. Here comes our apparent winner of Heat 2B, presented by Beacon Plumbing. It is the Beacon Plumbing. Nobody has solved the Corey Peabody puzzle. The race for 2nd, it's a doozy, but it's Bobby King by 5 boat lengths over Dylan Runny in the home street. Holy cow, the rookie just keeps showing me more and more top. They must be out of the water when the Hydros are on the Ted Jones race course, and they are on that course now. We need you up and on the shoreline, please. So now it's time to get out of the water and enjoy the world's fastest race. White Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway. 2:06, John, 2:06. This is the milling period. A lot can happen over the next couple of minutes.
It definitely can, and we're a minute away from that 1-minute gun. Most of these guys are going to want to be about the apex of the first turn down here when the 1-minute gun goes off, and then they'll stroll up the back straightaway, hopefully in the lane that they've chosen. When they get at the other turn up there, they're going to be about a 12-second run from the exit pin to the starting finish line.
All right, 140 to the start. Everybody went up to the top except Jamie Nielsen again. He cut the race course again. He cut it back to front. He cut it at the top end, a legal maneuver. So here comes Dustin Eccles down the front straightaway. He's coming down here at 125. You heard John just say you want to be at the apex of this corner about the 1-minute mark, so they might be a little bit early. Jamie Nielsen trails both Gunnar O'Farrell and Dustin Eccles down to the corner, and then your last boat going down there, which actually I like perhaps the positioning of J. Michael Kelly. That's the red boat. He's going to be the last one down there. Fans, our boats, when they come out on the race course, they are not assigned a lane. They actually jockey for those positions, and to get those lanes, the last piece to that puzzle is you cannot drop below 80 miles per hour, and that will be determined when they take the data acquisition boxes out of the boat after the heat. The data will tell them if they dropped below 80. We saw that yesterday inside 40 seconds heading up toward the top end of the race course, John Walters.
Here they go up the back straightaway, and you can see Jamie, pulled off that magic again, got the inside lane in a good position there. I think that everybody's going to, close it up here pretty quickly, and there'll be a race literally from the exit pin to the starting line.
20 seconds until the start. We're going to go 3 times around. J. Michael Kelly, he's going to have an outside start, but he's going to come into lane 3. That's right. Gunnar's got to stay on the outside. The lane was there for him. We are inside 10 seconds to our start. We are coming up on 5. We are 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, and man, that one's going to be close, but I think it was good. It was the Flavor Pack and Dustin Eccles who broke the clock. I think he's going to get down to the turn first, but he and Kelly are tied together. The start is under review. Who's going to come out first? It is Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack, but he has got J. Michael Kelly with him on the outside. He's got Jamie Nielsen on the inside. It is a legal start. It's a legal start, so everybody is good. Up the backstretch, you got 4 H1 Unlimited hydroplanes, closely bunched, but look at Dustin Eccles. John Walters, he's really moving.
He definitely is, and Dustin put himself in a great position there to use that top end. He laid back just a little bit, hit the starting line with top end on everybody, got to the first turn first, and put himself in a position to control that first turn.
And here he comes down to put 1 in the book. You couldn't see him up the backstretch, but J. Michael Kelly driving the Beacon Electric. It's bright red. It's on the outside. And he's only back by about 3, maybe 4 boat lengths. We are on lap number 2 of 3. The race is out front. It is Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack being chased by J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. Do not forget about Jamie Nielsen. Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport is in third place. He's on an inside lane. Now Dustin Eccles got Kelly back by about 5 boat lengths. There's that straightaway speed, John. You talked about it.
Yeah, he's pulling everybody going down the back straightaway there again. He gets into the turn in a nice lane, very controlled, leaving room for Jamie to get through there without any conflict. He's just trying to, come out wide as he can, push J. Michael Kelly around the race course a little bit and use up some of that time. And you can see, they get very close coming off the exit pin.
Yeah, and when he's pushing J. Michael Kelly out like that, what he's doing is leaving the door wide open for Jamie Nielsen to pick up ground and save ground on that inside lane. Kelly's driving an awfully big race course. It is Dustin Eccles off the lower end of the race course. He is in first place, but now you see Jamie Nielsen has moved up alongside J. Michael Kelly. They are going to be dead even as they come off the bottom end of the race course, and it's that big course, John, that J. Michael Kelly's having to drive that's opening the door for Jamie Nielsen.
It's a long ways around for J. Michael Kelly as he's on the outside down there, and you can see Dustin's got a little top end on. Everybody gets down there first. Now, when J. Michael has such a big area to make up the difference there, Jamie running on that inside lane's got a much shorter distance, so they come off the exit pin dead even.
Checkered flag flies for Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack, and now it's going to be J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric holding off a hard-charging Jamie Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. 1, 2, 3. We'll see how it plays out this time, but right now, watch where Andrew Tate's going. He is going to go on the outside of Dylan Runny. Very, very interesting. He jumped to the outside of the powder blue and white boat. It looks now like maybe he has found his way back inside, John, but that we were watching on the monitor here from the drone. That was an interesting maneuver by Andrew.
It was an interesting maneuver by Andrew, and yesterday Andrew came from the infield to the backside there and got real close with JMK, and they had a little discussion about that last night. This morning, you can see that as they get ready to come up the back straightaway here, Dylan needs to win this heat. He's not got the points that he'd really like to have at this point in time, so he's going to lead everybody around there and try to take charge of this thing, make a good start here and lead everybody to the first turn.
Yeah, and I said it looked like Andrew Tate had maybe come back to the inside. He has not. Dylan Runny right now coming down the front straightaway. He is sitting in lane number 1. Behind him and now in lane 2, just to his outside, albeit behind him by quite a ways, is Andrew Tate and the Goodman Real Estate, the U91. Then lane 3 is slotted Corey Peabody. Nobody has beaten Mr. Peabody in a heat that he has finished. And then on the outside right now is Bobby King in the Graham Trucking, coming up on 5 seconds to the 1 minute mark. The boats have to declare the lane they are going to race in. They do that by the lane they are in when they get to the entrance pin of the floating bridge turn. That's the lane they have to bring to the start-finish line. Then standard overlap rules apply. So we could see a lane change now, but we're getting late in the game. I don't see anything happening. If Dylan Runny, who's way out in front, John, he's got to watch that 80-mile-an-hour rule.
He does. That was a problem that he had yesterday, and he's kind of setting him up for the same sort of thing this time. I really think Corey's in the best position right here. He's back behind everybody. Dylan's trying to get up there to assure that he gets that inside lane, but yesterday when he did that, he was able to get up there in the inside lane, but he was a little bit early, and when he had to back off, the other guys came around with boat speed on him, led him to the first turn, and he ended up finishing back in the pack.
Yeah, the two boats from Madison are leading the field up here. The home street's going to come off the corner first, then it's going to be Andrew in lane number 2. Corey's behind the field right now as they come off the top end of the race course. We are inside 10 seconds, we're inside 5 seconds. We are 4, 2, 1. Mark, and we are racing, and Corey Peabody is back at the start. It is the two Madison boats. It is the Goodman Real Estate on the outside, Dylan Runny on the inside, and the home street that are out in front and by a large margin. Coming off the corner, it is a legal start. Everybody is legal. Dylan Runny in the home street's got the lead over teammate Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate. Keep an eye on that white boat in third place. It is Corey Peabody. Nobody has beaten him this year. But right now he trails the two boats from Madison, Indiana. John Walters, can he make up that much ground?
He's got a lot of ground to make up, and Andrew's pushing real hard on the outside there as they come down the outside. He's actually kind of protecting the boat on the inside of him, because Corey's got to get around the first one first, which is going to be Andrew. So he's got a long ways to go. This is a big race course, big wide turns. It's tough to make up any ground here. Dylan's in the perfect spot right there on the inside lane. Good lead going into the first turn. The water's a little bit rough. You can see the kind of the sawtooth in the skid fin water there as it's hooking and unhooking as he comes off the exit pin and with the lead.
And I mentioned those two boats are from Madison, Indiana, but do not expect Andrew Tate to just sit back there in second place. If he's got a shot at getting around Dylan Runny, trust me, he will take it. Andrew Tate is a racer, and he is closing on Dylan Runny at the top end of the race course. There's Runny, there's Tate, lane 1, lane 2. We're going to come down and put 2 in the book. They are going to be side by side. Andrew really hung to 91. He's got a lot of air underneath it. He had to pull his foot. We start lap number 3. It's a 2-boat length advantage for Dylan Runny at the bottom end of the race course. Now this corner could really help decide our Heat 3B here. It is Runny on the inside. It is Tate on the outside. Andrew's going to try and get around him. He's only back by a half a boat length. They are dead even out of the corner. John, it doesn't get any better than that.
It absolutely doesn't. They're dead even. Andrew's got a little boat speed on him here on the top end. He's pulled out about a boat length on him. He's going to control the second turn now as he gets in there. He's going to try to hold Dylan as tight to the buoy line as he can, get him to pull his foot a little bit, bleed off some boat speed, and hopefully that he can, out accelerate him coming off the turn here and get to the finish line first.
They have been racing against each other since they were 9 years old. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be close. It is Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, oh my goodness, it's a good thing they painted that boat last week. I think he got him by a coat of paint. Oh my goodness, that was close.
Wow, what a race, what a race.
That is the 5-minute mark. That means the boats can come away from the pit area. Corey Peabody is already up and running in the U9, the Beacon Plumbing. So is Bobby King in the U12, the Graham Trucking. Let's go down the boats that are going to run, all 4 of them that are coming in our Heat 4A. It is the U9, the Beacon Plumbing. It is predominantly white. It's got blue lettering on it. It is driven by Corey Peabody. Going to be joined by the Chartreuse and Royal Blue, trimmed in red, Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouse, driven by Jamie Nielsen of Gig Harbor, Washington. Going to be joined by the U12, the predominantly black and red, trimmed in silver, the Graham Trucking, driven by Bobby King, and then the white boat trimmed in black and gold. It's a U91. It is the Goodman Real Estate. So we are right now 4 minutes away from the start of our Heat 4A, and Seafair reminds you that for your own safety and the safety
get away from him. So we've got boats cutting across the infield here as Corey's following everybody into the first turn.
Watch Corey.
Bobby's going to come up from the backside here and hope that he can catch somebody by surprise.
I thought maybe Corey might jump, but he did not. So they're 1, 2, 3, 4 through the lower corner. Jamie Nielsen's going to come off the exit pin right now. We are at 225 to the start. Then it's Andrew Tate coming up behind him, and interestingly, inside of Andrew Tate is Corey Peabody. Watch those two up the backstretch. And now Corey's going to give it a squirt and come up right alongside Andrew and say, oh, by the way, I am here.
Yep.
So you can't move over, and right now I am in front of you. This is some of the cat and mouse and the gamesmanship that gets played during the milling period as these guys jockey for position, reminding our fans that are watching on the shoreline and online on the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel, lanes are not assigned when you come out of the pit area. That's what this milling period is all about. Now, 145 until the start. John, you've been talking about the fact you want to be down here at this lower corner at the apex at about the 1 minute mark. They've got 34 seconds to make that happen.
Yeah, Jamie's in good shape here right now. He's just, on a plane above 80 miles per hour, going to cruise right down there. Corey's in good shape too. He's a little bit farther behind him. I think that, these two guys that are following up here, they're watching their watches as well. They've got, spotters that are talking to them. They've got people up there looking at the GPS. They've got a lot of help to be where they need to be at the right place, the right time on this race course. So I like to be right about the apex of the turn when the 1 minute gun goes off. That gives me some options.
And they are just about there. 2 seconds, 1 mark. White flag on the race course. That means we are inside 1 minute. Now, coming off the bottom end of the race course, Jamie Nielsen in the U11. Legend Yacht Transport's going to sit in lane number 1. Corey Peabody behind him. He is going to be in 2. Then it's going to be Andrew Tate and the Goodman Real Estate in 3. On the outside, going to be Bobby King in the U12, the Graham Trucking. Inside 40 seconds. 40 seconds to the start. John, take him up to the top end of the race course.
Well, I like lane 2 right here. That gives you the most options in and out, and Andrew's already proven he can drive around guys on the outside. As they start to accelerate up to the floating bridge there, Corey's in good shape, and he's going a little slower because he's got a shorter distance to go. Jamie's still holding down that inside lane as they come around, and Bobby King coming up hard on the outside. So they come off this turn here. They're going to want to be about 12 seconds from the starting line, and they get off to the power right now, and the guys on the radio are telling them, go, 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 it's green. Bobby's on the outside. He's just a little bit ahead. He had to back off just a bit there, and everybody else is pushing really hard. So we may have a gun jumper here. We're going to have to take a look at that, and it's going to be under review, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Bobby King may have got along across that line a little bit too early. The start is under review, but we'll call them the way they are on the water. And right now, the way they are is Jamie Nielsen is going to come out of that corner first. Nielsen is out first, but there is Tate on the outside. There's Corey in between them. 1, 2, 3. You've got a good boat race up the back chute. And now Andrew Tate, Corey Peabody begin to separate themselves a little bit from third place, and that being Jamie Nielsen in the U11. Top end of the race course. It is Tate on the outside. It is Corey on the inside. Off the exit pin, side by side, gonna come down and put one in the book. Yes, Bobby King in the 12 did jump the gun, but our leaders are legal, and it's Peabody by 2.5 boat lengths on Tate as they cross the line at the completion of lap number 1, but Andrew is not gonna go away. Down to the lower end of the race course on the second of 3 times around. What do we got coming off the corner? Corey Peabody, but Andrew right there with him. Ooh, this is as good as it gets. Here we go again, John Walters, and Andrew Tate is really showing me something on the outside as he's hanging with Corey, John.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and actually Andrew's in control right here. He's got, just a little bit of a lead. When he gets down there, he's going to be able to determine the lane that Corey's able to run in because he won't let him drift outside. Now Corey's got a great lane and he's inside there and he's moving out from the buoy line a little bit to give himself some room. But these guys are after each other and they're going hard side by side.
Coming down to put 2 in the book with 1 to go. And if you could pick a leader, you're better than I am. Down to the low, and Tate is really flying the boat. Picked up the right side sponson, but he got it back down in the water before they got to the turn. That's what he's got to do. Corey on the inside. Where is Andrew? Where is he? He's right there with him. He's back about a boat length and a half. See if Andrew Tate can make one last run up the backstretch at Corey Peabody. Peabody, our national high points leader. Andrew Tate, our top qualifier. These are tall, and there goes Andrew. Andrew is pulled up alongside and taking the lead at the top end. Got a boat length. This is going to decide it. Going to try and hold him in tight. He does. Everybody hang on. Here we go. This is for the checkered flag. Corey in 1. Going to be Tater on the outside. And Tater is going to finish in second place, 2 boat lengths behind Corey Peabody. Oh my goodness. We've got a good race off the top end of the race course between Jamie Nielsen and Bobby King, but Bobby King jumped the start. He will have an extra lap to go.
Print them out as fast as they're laying them down. So we'll go back afterwards and we'll do some comparisons then.
We'll take that as a good thing. It was pointed out to me just as we approached the 5-minute mark here that there is a little bit of a breeze blowing up the race course. And I know you know about this Genesee Tunnel down here.
Yes.
And that wind comes down there, comes across the race course. What are these drivers thinking about that? Is there enough wind right now to get their attention?
There absolutely is. In fact, we saw it in the last heat. You saw Andrew coming down here picking up that right side, and the wind is blowing right in his face at that point. And it kind of comes across through the little gap in the hills right there, right through the pit area. And right here at the start-finish line is where it seems to be the worst. You can see the flags on the boats out here, blowing pretty good as the air is moving across the water. You're starting to get a little chop on top of the ripples and things on top of the chop and the rollers that are out there. So it's starting to look more and more like the Ted Jones race course, lumpy and bumpy.
Lumpy and bumpy sounds like a couple of guys. All right, we're coming up on 2 minutes. 2 minutes to the start of our Heat 4B at the 2023 Home Street Bank Cup and APBA Gold Cup race here on Lake Washington. So far, everybody's been very well behaved. J. Michael Kelly came out of the pit area, stuffed himself in lane number 1, and he's been there ever since. Nobody's made a move. And I honestly, John Walters, at 145 at the top end of the race course, I don't think we're going to see anybody make a move.
I don't think so either. I think they've pretty well established where they wants to be. J. Michael thinks he needs to be on the inside lane here in order to win this thing. I think Dustin out there in lane 3 thinks he's got enough top end to get to the first turn first and be able to control that turn when he gets there. With Gunner out here on the outside, he's not going to be able to get there in time to mix it up being on the outside lane. So I think it's going to be a real tough one. Dylan's obviously got his work cut out for him here as he's cruising up there in between, trying to make enough room for himself, get there quick enough, and they're just about right on time. We want to be at about the apex when the 1 minute gun goes off, and they're right there.
They're right where they want to be. Gunner is a little bit early, but he will be way on the outside. He can scruff off time as he goes up the back chute. Once again, the U1, the Miss Home Street, the U8, the Beacon Electric, the Flavor Pack, U40, and the 60. Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway, Runny, Kelly, Eccles, O'Farrell. Up the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly sitting in lane number 1. Dylan Runny, the rookie out of Rumson, New Jersey, sitting in lane number 2. Then it is Dustin Eccles in the yellow and blue Flavor Pack. Coming up on 25 seconds. I like where they are in the race course. An unofficial mark I have is about 20 seconds at that entrance pin. They got there right at 20. Now the boats have fanned out. There's a lot of lane space between them. Gunnar O'Farrell's going to be on the far outside. It's going to be Dylan Runny in lane number 2. Kelly's going to be in 1. Runny's in 2. Going to be Dustin Eccles on lane 3. The outside. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1. Mark, it appears to be clean from here. And John Walters, you wanted to get Dustin Eccles down to the lower corner first. I think he got down there first. It is a legal start. Can he get the boat around the corner? J. Michael Kelly on the inside's got the lead coming off the pin, but he has got company with him. Runny's with him, and so is Dustin Eccles. We've got 3 boats sharing the same rooster tail, John.
Yeah, they look really good. It's hard to tell one from the other right now. Thank goodness for those drones up there. We can actually see what's going on. But J. Michael's leading everybody down the back straightaway. He's running downwind right now, and I think by the time you get to the apex, you're going to see these guys getting on the foot pedals, trying to calm them down. Dustin's coming up hard on the outside, and when they come down the straightaway, they're going to have a pretty good breeze right in their face. These guys are going to be driving these boats with their feet, and their feet are on those wings.
Boy, oh boy! Dustin Eccles hung the 40 for a long time. You mentioned the wind, John. Sorry to trample you, but I know you weren't looking at him, and he was just hanging it there on the front chute. Kelly down to the lower end of the race course, lap number 2. And Runny's going to come on. He's given ground on the outside. And boy, that we saw what happened there when he had to pull your foot. I'm sorry there a little bit, but Dustin Eccles having to pull his foot, that cost him a second place position. And now it is Dylan Runny trying to run down J. Michael Kelly on the outside.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And Dustin is trying to make up ground here on that top end. And unfortunately, he can't use the top end right now, especially coming down the straightaway with this wind in his face. And like I mentioned earlier there, when they got themselves in trouble, these guys are going to be driving the boats down this front straightaway with the front wing, and their feet are doing that. So they're hanging on to the steering wheel, and Dustin's coming off hard and about halfway down, just about to the start-finish line here. He's got so much ground to make up, I don't think there's a chance that he can catch up with the boys.
Now it's interesting now to see if Dylan Runny can make up ground on J. Michael Kelly. Kelly's going to come off the turn with the lead. He's got about 5-6 boat lengths. I'm not sure Dylan Runny can run him down. I know J. Michael Kelly's looking in that right side rear view mirror. He's got radio guys in his ears telling him right where Dylan Runny is, and it is almost a full rooster tail for JMK, but Runny doesn't want to go away, and he's willing to take a shot at J. Michael Kelly on this, the third of 3 times around the race course. Kelly took a hop up there at the top end of the race course, but he's able to settle it down, come off the pin clean. The checkered flag flies. J. Michael Kelly, driving a Beacon Electric, is going to come down and pick up an apparent 400 first place points. Good run for Dylan Runny in the U1, the Miss Home Street. He will come across in second place, looking for Dustin Eccles. Here he comes. He will come down and pick up third place points in the Flavor Pack, the U40. And then it will be Gunnar O'Farrell coming by in fourth place, driving the U60. The Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway. John, we had a conversation in the last heat I was asking you about Andrew Tate when he hung the 91 for quite some time, and the fact that he was able to feather it and bring it back down without giving up a whole lot of momentum and having to pull his foot too far out of it. We saw something different there. First of all, Dustin held it up there for a whole lot longer, but he did have to come off the throttle, and when he got it back down, it cost him his position on the race course. The others were gone.
It absolutely does. That can be a showstopper when you end up having to come out of the throttle like that. You know, it may be a half a second, maybe even a whole second, but in that second, that boat out ahead of you is picking up big ground. I mean, these boats are moving 300 feet per second at the kinds of speeds that they're running here. So you come off the throttle for just a little bit, that turbine takes a little while to get spooled back up and get rolling again, and you lose some time, you lose a lot of ground. And in this short distances that you have to make it up here with this 2-mile race course, short straightaways, big wide turns, there just isn't enough time left.
Let's take a look at our national high point standings, and it is very, very close. Corey Peabody sits atop the list right now with 4,975 points. Right behind him, make that 91 points behind him, is teammate J. Michael Kelly. Cannery Furniture Warehouse, Jamie Nielsen away from the dock. It is Chartreuse, it is Royal Blue, and he's going to have the rest of the field right behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, we are inside 5 minutes. We're at 4:30 until our final heat actually begins. Let's one more time take a look at the boats. It's the U1, it's powder blue and white, it's the Miss Homestreet, it's driven by Dylan Runny. The bright red U8 Beacon Electric, driven by J. Michael Kelly. The U9, predominantly white with the blue lettering, the Beacon Plumbing, Corey Peabody.
Place to move on the inside. You either go inside the race course or hit a buoy. So lane 2 is really the preferable lane.
Well, and at the top end of the race course, Dylan Runny went way wide, and J. Michael Kelly actually moved to the inside, but now it appears Runny has tightened it up a little bit, and JMK has let him go in there, and Kelly has moved back to the outside in lane number 2. Andrew Tate finds himself right now sitting in lane number 3. Then it is the Beacon Plumbing, Corey Peabody in 4, Jamie Nielsen in 5. Dustin Eccles is on the far outside. I like where they are, although maybe Kelly and Runny might be a little bit early. John Walters, you want to be at that apex at the 1 minute mark. We're not yet to 1:10, although we're there now.
Yeah, you sure do, and Dylan's working real hard to try to get the inside lane here. And the way they've run this weekend, I think they need the inside lane to be competitive here. J. Michael Kelly has got enough boat speed, enough experience that I think he can get a little deeper run at it, and he can win from lane 2. But the one I think you really need to keep your eye on there is in lane number 3, and that's Andrew Tate. Andrew's boat is accelerating extremely well. He's able to fly that thing into the wind here better than most people would give you even credit that is even possible to do. And he's managed to not only fly the boat but keep his foot on the throttle at the same time and not really give up any speed there. Where the other boats have gotten badly out of shape, they've had to back off the throttle and they lose a lot of time there.
I think we got a couple of boats up there early, and certainly Dylan Runny is one of them. I think Kelly might be a little bit early. We're at 20 seconds right now, and they're already coming off the top end of the race course. I think Runny's going to have that inside lane, but he may have overpaid for it. Then it's going to be Kelly in 2, going to be Tate in 3, Peabody in 4. It's going to be Eccles on the outside. Nielsen's going to be in 5. We are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark and Andrew Tate did not break the clock. Dylan Runny did, but it was Tate with the boat speed from lane number 3 or 4, and then on the outside, it was Dustin Eccles who's going to turn left first, come out of there. It is Andrew Tate. He comes off the corner first, but he's got J. Michael Kelly right with him. Kelly hooked just a little bit as he got to the exit pin of the corner, and Andrew Tate was able to open up a little bit on him. Now Kelly's got the boat straightened back up, and here comes J. Michael Kelly. The start is legal. They are really rolling hard. Somewhere in that mess, and it's back in about 4th place, is Corey Peabody to the exit pin at the top end of the race course. On the outside, coming from lane number 3, it is Andrew Tate in the 91, the Goodman Real Estate. Look at the flavor pack on the outside with Dustin Eccles as he flies it across start-finish line. Remember, fans, we go 5 times around. Corey Peabody is definitely back as Dustin Eccles flew the flavor pack as they got down to the lower end of the race course. Oh, have we got one hooking up here good. It is Andrew Tate on the outside. He's got about 3 boat lengths on J. Michael Kelly. This is turning into a very good 2-boat run, John Walters. But right now, Andrew Tate starting to open up a little bit of water on J. Michael Kelly.
Andrew's really in the perfect spot position here. He's got room on the outside to drift out a little bit if he needs to. He's really trying to hold that number 2 lane and not give J. Michael Kelly any more room than he absolutely has to there. They come off the exit pin pretty close because J. Michael had a shorter distance, but Andrew's got top end on him here, and he tends to pull away a little bit more. He's in perfect shape. The boat is one run, but J. Michael Kelly's pulling real hard on the inside there. They're going to be side by side when they get to the entrance pin.
Yeah, they're down at the entrance pin of the corner right now. We start lap number 3, and they are literally dead even. They are dead even. Now it's Kelly that you see first coming off the exit pin. Right with him is Andrew Tate. J. Michael Kelly comes off the pin. You can see Tate. He's right on the outside. We expected a barn burner. This is a beauty. We've got a great race running for second place. Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack is on the outside of Corey Peabody in the U9 to Beacon Plumbing. But the race is out front, and Kelly just opened up some water on Tate. Not much, but he's got about 2 or 3 boat lengths. Exit pin off the top end of the race course. The Gold Cup is on the line. The National High Points Championship is on the line. And Kelly has opened up a little bit of water. They'll put 3 in the books with 2 more to go. It is J. Michael Kelly and the Beacon Electric. John, he's opened up water.
He has, and Andrew's really fighting with the wind at this point in time. He's really trying to work hard to keep that boat settled down. In the meantime, J. Michael is out front and pushing hard. He's actually stretching the lead a little bit. He's picking up a little bit of room every straightaway here. They kind of hold even with each other going through the turns, but with all that water in the air, it's hard to see, exactly what's going on with Andrew over there, but he's losing ground.
He is losing a little bit of ground now to the top end of the race course. The race for third place has kind of been settled. It is now Corey Peabody in third position, but our race is at the top end of the race course. J. Michael Kelly will come down at complete lap number 4. He'll get a white flag with 1 to go, and he is opening water still on Andrew Tate. He's got more than a rooster tail. J. Michael Kelly, this could be the race of his career. He's won a Gold Cup before. He has never won the Drivers' National High Points Championship. Take that back. He's never won the team and the drivers at the same time. He would get them both right here if he can hold on for 3/4 of a lap. Up the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly off the turn. Got a full rooster tail on Andrew Tate. Third place goes to teammate Corey Peabody driving a Beacon Plumbing. And then it is back to the Flavor Pack. And then Dylan in the home street. Top end of the race course, John Walters, I'm going to bring him through the top end and bring him down. The checkered flag is hanging. J. Michael Kelly, this could be the biggest day of his career. He is off the turn. He can see the finish line. He picks up the front end, flies it a little bit. This is all his if he can finish it. Checkered flag, your Gold Cup winner, J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. Second place to Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate, the U91. Then it is Corey Peabody. You hear the fans clapping here behind us on the tower. I think that is a popular win. J. Michael Kelly. Holy cow, 4th place is going to go to Dustin Eccles in the U40, the Flavor Pack. Here come Dylan running.
Introducing Connect IND, the new interactive online portal designed for Indiana's entrepreneurs.
With Ken Muscatel trying to creep to the inside, as is Greg Hopp. Following up the rear is Steve Hook, who will start an assigned lane number 5 in this race. The referee, Rick Sandstrom, has said he wants the rookies to stay to the outside for the first heat at least until he gets a chance to have a look at them.
Mike, let me jump in real quick. I want to get Pat O'Day's comment as they come to the head of the straight up there.
Just going to say none of these drivers were even born the last time there was a heat of racing on this lake on a Saturday. That was 1954.
The new paint job on it.
And on the outside, Mr. Pringles as they come down, Dick Crippen, to the start of this race.
Looks like they're a little bit early. Now you can see the Rooster Tails are starting to kick up. Look at the boats on the outside, especially the turbine boats. That's Cellular West right there in the center of your screen, and he's really kicking up the Rooster Tail high on the start. The gun sounds, and off they go. Leading it into the turn will be Seco Aviation Fuel. Cellular West is on the outside. It looks like it's going to be a battle for first place as they come out of the first turn. Now, the interesting thing is, Pringles got a late start. He looked about 5th in the start. Look at it move up. Scotty Pierce is already pushing that turbine engine boat up through the field.
He's trying to catch the number 2 boat, the U.S. West Cellular. And, of course, Mitch Evans, a surprising leader of the Seco Aviation Fuel, as they go down to corner number 3, turn 2, on lap 1 of Heat 1A.
So all eyes are on the Seattle driver, Scott Pierce. There he goes by West Cellular and just blows right by him. He's going to come up even Steven on the outside as they come out of the corner. There's Pringles on the outside, left hand of your screen. West Cellular is far from out of it at this point. Scott Pierce in Jim Presents Mr. Pringles trying to grab the lead away from Seco Aviation Fuels. And Jim, there he goes, a beautiful job at driving.
He has moved from 5th place up to 1st in less than 1 lap and has done 112 plus mile an hour in rough water on this 2-mile oval in doing so.
As a matter of fact, as he came by on the outside of Seco Aviation Fuels, he did get a little bit light. He lifted both sponsons off at the same time. That could be a kind of scary experience. Look at the battle for second going on. That's West Cellular getting a little light out there. He had to back it down, and Seco Aviation came back up on the outside. Here is a boat going out, Pocket Savers plus Steve David.
And taking over in his position is the Stroh Light with Wheeler Baker. Here's your leader, Mr. Pringles, fighting some rough water because of the spectator log boom where the waves come right back at you. And Scott Pierce looking for 400 points and a first place finish. He's going to get it. The checker flag is out.
And look at this boat come down. He's holding it beautifully on the water. He had that 1 point in the entire race where he got both sponsons out of the water, but he brought it right back down, and here he comes home the winner. Jim Presents Mr. Pringles, Scott Pierce the driver.
From Lake Chelan, the second place finisher, Mitch Evans and Seco Aviation Fuel gave it a battle for quite a while. High attrition, only the Mr. Pringles and the Seco Aviation managed to finish this race, and here are your results. 400 points for Mr. Pringles, Seco Aviation Fuel, 370. So let's go to the pits.
Well, Scotty, let's talk a little bit about this. It's a win, but you got a little light out there a couple times.
Yeah, we need to make a wing adjustment, Dick. The boat is set up for basically, we came from Tri-Cities where we ran real fast, and in the swells and the bumps here, I'm just not able to keep the boat down. So we're going to make some changes. I was well aware of that.
Well, obviously, you knew what the situation was, but you know this water well. You came from 3rd all the way up to 1st, and you held on.
Well, yeah, I didn't make one of my better starts, but I'm going to do my best to alleviate that problem in the future. Man, I won't have to run so hard from the back.
Scotty will be running a little bit later on this afternoon. Right now, let's meet an owner who is making his first appearance on the circuit this year.
We're down here in the Vantage Ultra camp, and this boat has been on the verge of winning through the whole year, either as competition specialties or the Vantage Ultra, which is now known by.
Turbine and hold turbine to its own, and maybe at the end of the day, we'll be in the winner's circle.
As they come down for the start of Heat 1B, this is the Oh Boy Alberto in lane number 1, Circus Circus lane number 2, lane 3 is the Vantage Ultra, lane 4 on the outside is the new Hulset Miss Madison, and that's with the new driver this week, Mike Hansen.
As they come down, look at Alberto with George Woods stepping it on with that Rolls-Royce engine. He's right up there on the start. On the inside is Circus Circus, and a wild ride on the outside of Vantage Ultra with Larry Lauterbach. Our area view here. Oh, look out, there's a mix-up right there on little tight quarters, and the left forward sponsor of the Vantage Ultra takes the right turn of the Circus Circus. Doesn't seem to bother him as he takes over first place down the back chute.
Circus Circus, John Prevost, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There you see the second place boat, Oh Boy Alberto, and look on the outside, the Vantage Ultra. Larry Lauterbach is now trying to take away second place, and now he's going to try to come up on the outside of Circus Circus. That is the Vantage Ultra boat right there on your screen, trying to take over first place. He's riding in second clean right now. There's the Circus Circus leading the field.
119.3 mile an hour on lap number 1 for John Prevost, who is now leading the pack as he comes down for the second time into corner number 1. I think I noticed some slight damage on the left sponsor to the Vantage Ultra.
Well, it's quite possible. We look there on the side that hit into Vantage Ultra on Circus Circus. We don't see any particular damage there at the moment. Circus Circus is certainly handling well out there in rough water. Johnny Prevost getting a bit of a bath over the boat, but no problem. He keeps the power on in that big turbine engine. He knows that he has got Vantage Ultra on the outside, and George Woods and Oh Boy Alberto keeps coming up on the inside of the turns with Vantage Ultra. So Larry Lauterbach has to look ahead to boat number 1 and keep an eye on his rearview mirror to the third place boat, Oh Boy Alberto. Look at this battle now as Vantage Ultra comes up on the outside. Larry Lauterbach is trying to get by, but he loses the rooster tail. Larry Lauterbach going dead in the water in the Vantage Ultra.
And he joins the whole set. Miss Madison, the Miss Rock, who are also out of this race. So attrition continues to be high here in Heat 1.
No problem at all for Circus Circus. The lead boat is out in front, and a little sign language there going out from Larry Lauterbach. I don't know whether he's wishing him luck or what, but at any rate, at this point, the checkered flag is out for Circus Circus. John Prevost takes the win in the pink boat.
Circus Circus winner, average speed 117.7. Oh Boy Alberto was second place. Two boats collided in corner number 1. What happened?
The problem is not going away. It never has gone away in 280s, which you're familiar with, and it's never gone away in 7 liters because we all run real close, and we're trying to get to that first corner first. And it's never going to go away with these unlimited now that the powers and the boats are all equal.
More action from Seattle, Washington after this timeout.
Unlimited hydroplane racing action, Lake Washington in Seattle, and Jim Hendrick has a very special guest with him.
Down here in the pit area, one of our newest hydro fans from HFC, Vice President Joe Jeff.
U-77 is Miss Crab Legs, Rainier Beer. George Johnson, the Miller High Life, the U-00, Chip Hanauer, the driver of the boat.
The Miss Budweiser, of course, tried to make it 3 in a row. The owner, Bernie Little, looking toward that here on race day. Bernie, as far as your power goes, we know it's Lycoming. Turbine engines. What about fuel?
Oh, we run all Exxon products, Jim, and that's why we go so fast. But let me tell you, we're on a roll. We went for 5 in a row last year, and we're going to do the same this year.
Actually, your win streak stopped here this very time last year, and you didn't win another race until Syracuse this year.
That's right, but we're going to change all that, and needless to tell you, we found out our problems last year. We've corrected them, and Miss Budweiser ought to be in there for a real, true victory.
Coming up to the start of Heat 1C with less than a minute to go. Miss Budweiser is in lane number 2. Lane number 1 is Jackpot Foods. Lane 3, the Miller High Life. Pietro Pizza in lane 4, and the Crab Legs boat is in lane 5.
There's all 5 of our combatants coming down toward corner number 1 at the start, and coming up fast is the Miller High Life, and right on the inside of him on the right is the Miss Budweiser as Tommy Dean takes the lead by about a boat length and a half over Chip Hanauer, the Miller High Life, as they come down and dive into corner number 1.
And it looks like it could be a drag race coming out. We'll see if Tommy Deeth, who's running the shorter course on the inside, is able to pull that boat and pull the Miller High Life at the same time to take the lead and hold on to it. Miller High Life very close, trying to get him on the outside, but Budweiser has come out the leader and the clear leader on the back stretch here on Lake Washington in Seattle. So Tommy Deeth in the Miss Budweiser, and there you can see he's opened up a sizable gap, first and second. Miller High Life back in second place. Great shot as the Miss Budweiser comes out of turn number 4.
Average speed at the first lap, 128.6, about 9 miles an hour faster than the second place Miller High Life, as they complete lap number 1. And a comparatively good ride for this Budweiser. This 2-mile oval has been very rough today. They get the washback off of the log boom where all the spectator boats are rafting.
And this is a good shot of the Miller High Life. This is the last race that boat will race without a canopy. Here's your battle for third place right now. Pietro's Pizza, the white boat, coming head on in the center of the screen as the boat holding on to third. That's Jack Schaefer Jr., who is out of Southern California. A good ride for this young man, and he's a guy that's been around a lot of unlimited hydroplane racing in his time. Pietro's Pizza holding on to third place in Heat 1C. But here's your leader, Tom Deeth, who incidentally got a great start. We have to point out that this is a flying start in unlimited hydroplane racing. These boats are over 160 miles an hour on the start easily. So when you get up there, that's a timed start. As the final second ticks off, the nose of that hydro is on the line. That's what happened to Tommy Deeth. He took the lead off of that start into the first corner, and he held onto it from there.
And that clock closes down the last minute, 60 seconds down to 1. If they go across that starting line before the clock completely goes 0, they're penalized an extra lap. A very dangerous maneuver to make a quick start right on the money.
It certainly could be costly, and we saw a couple of penalties assessed early in the season. A lot of the drivers still getting used to how these turbine engines spool up. And they get that power, and all of a sudden they're going, and they can't slow it down quite so fast.
Especially each course is different. Like last race was a 2.5-mile course. This is a 2-mile course, so there's a shorter distance between the number 4 corner running down to the start of the starting line. They really have to do a lot of practice in the days preceding this race on this course. Your leader is the Miss Budweiser, and the checker flag is out for him as Chip Hanauer in the Miller High Life gives chase in the number 2 boat, and I don't think you'll catch him today.
I think he's satisfied to settle for second place to get his points in there for the final heat. That's where he really wants to let it all unload. Tommy Deeth in great position right now. He's got 400 points on the day. That